Hey folks, this is JLove47 back with another chess game. I just got done beating this cat who go by the name of tomofarc. He's rated 1098 and my rating is 1145, and I really enjoyed this game. I like the way I ended the game. I like the way I checkmated him because I tricked him. I used my intelligence to outwork him. I outsmarted him and I outwitted him. And what I did was I gave up a lot of pieces. Not a lot of pieces, but I sacrificed two pieces because I was trying to put myself in a position where I can end the game. And the checkmate wasn't very obvious. It wasn't one of those checkmates where some checkmates you can kind of see it, but the checkmate that I kind of put him in, your average player, unless they're a really good player, wouldn't catch on that quick. And I just loved how, he really thought he was doing something, and he didn't realize that I was sacrificing my pieces for a reason, because I wanted to position myself, I wanted to position myself so that I can end the game and checkmate him. And I couldn't do it because he had certain pieces in the way. So I'm going to let y'all look at the game. It only lasted 19 moves, about good 10 minutes, and I beat him. But it was a real cool game. I really enjoyed this game. I moved my pawn to d4. I always move my center pawns out first, and I develop my pieces, moving my knights before my bishops. And then I castle early, so that's what I did here. Move my bishop out, move my knight out. He threatened my knight, and I castled. Get my king out of harm's way. When I castle early, he takes my knight, and I took his bishop with my bishop. I didn't take him with my pawn because I want my pawns there on F, G, and H2. They're my king bodyguards, so I need them to stay where they are. He then moved his pawn down to E6. I moved my pawn up to A4. This is how it took place. I wanted to get my queen to the forefront. And I wanted to, as you can see, I moved my queen to B3 because I wanted to take that pawn there on B7. But he seen what I was trying to do, so he moved his pawn down to B6. And I moved my queen over. And the reason why I moved my queen over is because I wanted to move my pawn on B2 up to B3 to get my black bishop somewhere to go. I can't move my black bishop because he's trapped, he's locked in by the pawn here on B2 in front of my knight. So that's why I moved my queen out the way, move my pawn up so I can let my bishop go free. But I decided to move my rook over to E1. And he moved his pawn down. I moved my pawn up. And he didn't take my pawn. He threatened my bishop with a pawn to G4. And I was thinking I could take his pawn, because if I take his pawn, I don't know, I'll be, I just wanted to kind of break up these little pieces. He got a lot of pawns on the 6th row. Queen, he have a pawn, a queen, a pawn, and a knight. So I wanted to just break that up, kind of separate his men and get them, just, I guess, try to take him out. And that's what I wanted to do. So I was going to take his pawn, but I said, you know what? I see a fork right here. I can move my pawn up, and he'll take it, but then I'll take his knight, and now there's another fork. So he has to give up one of those pieces. It's not going to be the queen, so he moved the queen out the way, which I expect him to do. And then I take his knight, and now I'm threatening his bishop. And it's always good to have a pawn that far into your opponent's territory. So he moves his bishop down to B4, threatening my queen and my rook. And this is the part I wanted to show you guys, because I don't think your average player will see the checkmate right here. But I decided to move my queen up to D4 and sacrifice my rook, because I know, he's probably going to take that rook. The smart move for him to make right now is to not take the rook. It would be to move the pawn there on h7 down to h6. That'd be the smart move. Or to either move his pawn on e6 down to e5 and let his king loose. I mean, not his king, let his queen loose. Threaten my queen and push my queen back, and then get his queen to f5 so that I can't checkmate him. But that's not what he did. He wanted to be greedy and take the rook, so I sacrificed the rook, and then boom, checkmate. See how I outsmarted him? I used my intelligence to beat him. He didn't see that coming. It's just about making smart, intelligent moves and putting yourself in a position where you can end the game. And that's when he quit, because he realized it was over. Sometimes you have to make moves like that. You got to sacrifice, powerful pieces to get the win. And that's what I did. All he could do is move his king over to h8. And when I would have moved my queen up to g7. And that would have been checkmate. I love how I ended this game. I really outsmarted this dude.